Yeah, we all in the circle. Level up, 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 level up. All this sound so yummy. All this sounds so yummy. It's yummy. Yeah, we all in no time. No mistakes are gone. This is a new year, ladies. Turn it into something. I come back on 100. Let's talk. Thank you, Lord. You just go CC coming. I just keep elevating. Welcome to Take Center Stage. My name is Gloria. Yes, we are leveling up, ladies. We are taking them to a whole nother level. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Dr. Gloria Walton. I am so happy to have you in the house. Take Center Stage and Own It. The Own It magazine has featured. These ladies are getting ready to do an amazing conference, and so we're going to talk about that. So, Dr. Walton, talk to us about the women in between. What's going on?
Well, first, thank you for having us on this awesome platform to share the journey that we're on with Women in Between. See, Women in Between, although the organization is Collaborative Women International Conference, the subject matter is Women in Between. And this conference theme just happens to be purposed to prosper. Women in Between really speaks to every woman, men alike, but women that find themselves in between. I don't know about you, but I've had those times of indecisiveness, not knowing which way to actually go. That was spiritually, relationship wise, finances, and just me personally. We actually, Cherie and I was in conversation with someone, and she was sharing her journey. And we were looking for a name, a topic, a subject. Like, what do we call this conference that I have this vision for? And she began to talk about how in between she was traveling and finding herself in states of basically homelessness and jobless. And it hit my spirit so hard. I said, that's it. Women in between, because that's really a place that we deny. We want to be the strong woman, claiming to know where we're at spiritually, oh, I'm blessed and highly favored, but going home crying, broke, but talking prosperity. And so that in between really just lit fire to my spirit. And that's really where the name Women in Between came from, although it really is a place.
It is a place, and it's also a position in the process.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
In between is a part of the process, and what a lot of folks want to do because they're concerned about shame, they're concerned about image, they're concerned about what they look like, what other people may think about them, and so we rush the in between, right? We don't want to be in between because in between is
uncomfortable.
But it's unknown. It's like you don't know what the end is going to be, and you can't go back to the beginning because that's past. So in between is a very uncomfortable space if you don't embrace it, and that's what Own It is all about. Own It is owning the in between and settling yourself to knowing that the only way you're going to make it victoriously to the other side, taking everything that you need that was in between with you to develop you, you have to own it. You have to own the authenticity. You have to own the awkwardness, all of it. And so, what got you to this place? Like, what got you to, you and I talked yesterday. So what got you to this place of having the audacity to have an international conference? Because it takes audacity to say, I can do this.
Jesus. Well, the history to me and a conference really starts with SAKC. And she actually was performing, and we support each other all the time. And she said, you can do this. And I was like hesitant, like, no, I'm really, my preference is to be backstage. But she pushed me, to begin to participate with different conferences. And what I saw, I mean, there's some wonderful conferences going on, you know, but from my personal point of view, there was a group of women, particularly that was not being afforded the opportunity to share their gifts and their talents. One, because there's a price tag associated with being on these stages, you know, and women, particularly post pandemic, it just wasn't happening. And so I said, you know what? I want to create a way for those women to display their gifts, to display their talents. I want to be the destiny helper for women that have a product but don't have a stage, have a voice and a story, but no one to hear it. I said, so this is what I'm going to do. And of course, you know, I call those that support me to say, this is what I want to do. And I still have to give credit to Casey because her saying is, "I'm with you till the wheels fall off." You know, you say it, we're gonna do it. And you know, you really only need one person. Sometimes you don't have anyone to support your vision.
Yeah.
And I've been there before. I'm not afraid of that, but I am grateful to have such a friend that would say, "Go for it." And so, a group of women. The first conference was actually held in Virginia at the Oceanair Resort, yes. And I had hosts from Virginia to join us. And it was very powerful. It was the first, you know, being the first, being the pioneer for something different, you know. And I'd like to say that I do it different. Yeah, there's many, but I do it different.
Yeah.
I'm wired differently, so.
And that's how we're supposed to be, right? We're supposed to be similar but different, right? We're always going to be similar, and you always have to be. I love David, right? He was not ashamed. He danced right out of his clothes, unashamed.
That's right.
And in order for us to really you know, be trailblazers, cut all of the hard places out so the rest can come. We've got to be willing to do, you know, do that which other people are sitting back waiting for us to fail at, to do it and to do it unafraid, to do it with all the boldness and the, like I said, the tenacity, the audacity, the determination, and the defiance. You got to do that because it's gonna take all of that to cut and make the pathway open wide enough and clear enough for them to get through. And so I applaud you for doing that because everyone, the whole platform on it is this is your life, your career, your business. You better take center stage.
Yes.
You got to get up on that runway called life and you got to get your stance together and you got to do that catwalk like you own everything.
Yes.
It does not matter if the house is falling apart because God's got you. If you really believe, God's got you. So you're not looking, what did Christ say to Peter? Don't look to the left or to the right. Stay focused. And when you're on that runway, you've got to make sure that in this process, when all of you guys are registering for this conference, when you're showing up, you're ready to level up for this conference, you have got to get your why intact. You got to know your value system. You got to know why did God put you on this earth? What did he assign you to do? Get an alignment with your design so that you can live a fulfilling life. And it's not about just living it for yourself because once you get it, it's now for the multitudes that are behind you, like you're doing, Dr. Walton. You are doing this for the multitudes. I can remember being in intercessory prayer in the morning, and I started praying, and I'm like, okay, I got it. You know how we pray for everybody else, but don't pray for ourselves. So the prayer started off with me praying for myself. Then it went for me praying for my house. But God always put in my heart, I don't know why this happens to me, a multitude of countless people behind me. And God is saying, when you align with your design, there is a multitude of folks that are behind you that are designed to understand what goes on in between must happen.
Must
It
happen.
has to happen. Don't
Yes.
run from it. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be embarrassed of it. Don't rush it.
Right.
Don't rush it. Make sure you are asking God to get everything that you need out of this conference. The Collaborative Women's International Conference. It is taking place when?
It's taking place April 29th is the kickoff. The 29th, the 30th, and to May 1st, we will end the conference with a very powerful, very brief gospel concert.
Okay. All right. So, folks that are watching, the pre-registration, it is an international conference. It's virtual too, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So you have the link. I did put the link in the comments. So make sure you pre-register. Register for the conference. You want to be, like I said yesterday, you want to be in the room where it happens, right?
Yes.
So you really believe in, you want to, the biggest challenge we have is getting into the room where people think and talk like we do. A lot of times we're staying in rooms that are familiar with us, people that we know, and we're trying to talk to them, and they're like, girl, we're not trying to do that. We want to just stay here. We comfortable here. Don't mess up our comfortable space. Don't mess us up here. You are talking about doing great things, which causes you to have to do great work, and we don't want to do that. So you have got to be, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to be in the room where it happens. Men, if you know some women that are in need of this encouragement, need of clarity and leveling up, you want them to pre-register. You want them to get in the room where it happens. In the comment section, it gives them the information about the kickoff. It gives them about the speakers and the keynotes, the gospel concert with some amazing gospel artists. I can't wait I'm going to be in the room where it happens. I will make sure that if I'm not already, I think I did pre-register. If I'm not already, I will definitely be registering to be a part of and to support it. This event is featured in the Own It magazine. I can't wait for the video for afterwards, but we will definitely do a pre, during, and post advertisement and really get the message out there. We just want to say to our guests, our viewers, West Webb, thank you for chiming in. Renee Starlin Allen, Dr. Renee, thank you for chiming in. Letitia Montgomery, thank you. Yes, you got to align with your design because that's where your fulfillment lies. And so we just love you guys for chiming in this morning. Webb talks about the dream snatchers because people that don't understand what you're trying to do will try to make sure that your voice gets muzzled. That's why That's why you have to be defiant. And so I want to move over to First Lady Lassiter, Dr. Lassiter. Talk to us. What has compelled you to take center stage, own it on the Collaborative Women's International Conference?
Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Reverend Gloria, Cherie. I'm so honored to share this platform with you. God is just so awesome. I've been in the process. My process has started, Reverend Gloria, ladies, for a long, long time. But I recognize that stopping, pausing, shrinking back, those are all things that I've done to pause the process. But what I'm so grateful for is that in his infinite wisdom and with the Holy Spirit at work, my answer was yes, again and again and again. And it has been something striking about the pandemic, a moment in time when so many people experience devastation, so many people experience loss, being shut in and shut out. But everything that's bad also can produce good, because I'm a witness that in that time, I heard the Lord. In that time, I experienced the Holy Spirit come upon me. In that time, I was able to articulate a yes. And I was able to formulate a prayer that simply says, Lord, let my life be your greatest pleasure. Like I say this
That's
all
good.
the time.
Yes.
Lord, let my life be your greatest pleasure, because that most simplest prayer, it's speaking exponentially, because that means that I have to walk in faith. That means that I have to know your voice, and a stranger I won't follow. I have to be able to hear. I have to be able to see. And so we lead ourselves up to this time as it gets closer. And before Reverend Gloria called me, I knew, as I was sharing with Marissa, I knew that I was supposed to do something collaboratively, in support of, with, somehow, some way, with the very life and ministry of Reverend Gloria. And it was thanks through my husband, who actually is the piece that really intervened this. But I am grateful that I heard in my secret time, and Reverend Gloria heard in her secret time. And God said that in this appointed time, we need to do this in between. What tools in my toolbox am I going to use for this particular assignment? Because it takes a particular screw. It takes a
Yes.
particular nice, soft cloth. It takes a particular screwdriver or a hammer for this particular work. And he found me worthy to be able to be the tool for this particular moment in time. Why? Because he also knew that even I would be in between.
Yes.
Yes.
In
Yes.
between is like a corridor. It's the corridor where you can see your future, but you also are in your present, and you also see your past. And so sometimes you're stuck here, and it could be scary. It could be quite alarming. It could be very unknown. And
Yes.
unknown has
Yes.
been one of my biggest um thought processes or paradigm that I have to continue to put in the hands of the Holy Spirit, because I want to know A to Z, and don't leave out B, C, D, E, or F. And I want to know from the beginning, everything step by step by step. Well, in actuality, my dear sisters, if I knew everything, I'd probably mess it all up.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
That's
probably
good.
mess it all
That's
up.
good.
And
That's
so, in his infinite wisdom of knowing around the corner, he just gives me a little bit of peace. He gives me a peace. And he gave me enough peace to know that I was the right person. And as your pronouncement of what your of the purpose and the calling of this magazine to be center stage, this is what my spirit needed. This is what my entire soul and body needed, because I hear him speaking to me in the back, in like David out
Yep.
in the
Yes.
backyard somewhere,
Yes.
way back
Yes.
in the yard, way back. I hear him talking to me, and sometimes it sounds so big, but in my face, in my right now, I see a lot of mess. I see a lot of opportunity to shrink back. I see a lot of opportunity to turn
Yeah.
around and run, because I don't think that I can speak that well. I stutter a little bit. Oh, I'm too dark. Oh, my hair is too this, and my that is too that. They're acting like this, and I'm behaving like this, and at the same time he's showing me all while this is all happening. And so I have to still stand up, because he told me that this would happen. He told me about this timing, but he's telling me this right in the middle of the mess.
Yep.
Right in the middle of the mess. And so that is what's happening when we talk about in between. In between. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even be here unless some things had shifted already inside of me. Because I'm a believer that you will never change your paradigm, or you will never change your belief system unless your old one no longer works for you.
That's right.
And that is actually, Reverend Gloria, what brought me here. My old paradigm, my old belief system no longer worked. And I recognized it by his grace. I recognized it. And that is even why I'm even being brought into this space right now, by his grace and his mercy.
What is it? For such a time as this.
Such a time as this.
Esther, you got to rise up for the people, right? With all the risk, I always say, press through the mess to get to God's best, right? So you got to press. I always say, and I put the SSS on that, press.
Yes.
Press through the mess to get to God's best. You hit on so much. In the process, we stay in the process. We stay in between. Why? Because if we are hungry, for us to always improve, for always to level up, for us to always get better, then we're always going to stay in the process. That's why it's critically important for us to embrace the in-between. Have fun in the in-between. Unimaginable things can happen in the in-between. And so I'm a strategist by nature. My natural gifting, wiring is all about strategy. I am a systems thinker. And in order for you to get to point Z, you got to understand what the purposes of A, B, C, D, and everything that happens in between. So when it starts off the year in January, mindset. As a man thinketh, so is he. So in order for us to set the tone right for the beginning of the year or for the year, we got to get this right. Then what's next is what's up here starts to trickle down and it gets in here if we don't correct it. And then what's in here drives all of our decision making. Why? Because it is the heartbeat and the soul of man. It is our totality of our emotions, our ego, our compassion, our humbleness, our humility. All of that is wrapped up on what hits the heart, right? It says, really protect your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life, right? It says guard your heart, because in this heart, you gotta make sure that this mind gets right, so that what's in this mind does not, contaminate the heart, because he says he can work with us if our heart stays right? If our heart still stays pliable, if we remain open in the in-between, so much really, really happen that's phenomenal. In between is where you grab all the knowledge. In between is when you're prepared for the next thing. And if you don't really grab hold of the moment of the in-between, you'll miss out on everything that's preparing you for what's next. So we gotta really, really hone in. And I love how you said you want and I forget how you said it exactly, but you wanted your life to just please God.
Yes, my life to be His greatest pleasure.
His greatest pleasure.
His greatest pleasure.
That means that He knows you love Him. When we want to do right and will right, when we want to embrace the in between, we're saying, Daddy, I love you, and do what you got to do with me. Do what you got to do with me.
Yes.
Oh my God. And so we're going to go over to Cherie, because we want to hear from Cherie. What is going on with you? What's the Collaborative Women's International Conference have to behold with you? What's on your heart? Talk to us.
Well, first, let me tell you, when you have a friend who has a vision, you either support them or you dog them out, right? So you say, so when Dr. Gloria, she kept saying, I want to do this conference. I was like, okay, let's do it. So we got in the room, we got a few women together, and, there was one naysayer who, who was really trying to bring things down. And she said, well, I don't think that's going to work. That's not enough time. And, every excuse in the world to bring the vision down. And I stepped up and I said, wait a minute. I know Dr. Gloria Walton, and nothing is shabby about her.
Yeah.
Nothing is off kilter. She's going to do things in excellence. And whatever she does, I'm with her. You don't want to ride on this train. That's on you. But I'm stepping up and we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people, when you have people around you that don't support your vision, you got to get rid of them and weed them out, because they're no, if you're not going to help me, you need to step off. You need to step off and do your thing. And I bet that person is sorry today, because we had an awesome time in Virginia and a lot of connections. And what we're trying to foster with this collaboration is real collaboration, real sisterhood, real supporting. We Relationships were birthed out of this. Connections were birthed out of this vision. We have so many things going on, you know, collectively out of this whole process that is phenomenal. And you know, I'm just, like she said, I'm just riding till the wheels fall off, because because you know, out of this I got a reality TV show. Out of this, I got more books coming out. Out of this, there are so many things. I went from creating one book in the pandemic to being an 8-book multi-purpose author, as well as an award-winning public speaker. So out of this birthed a whole lot of things came out of this pandemic. I agree with Lady Crystal Lassiter, because you know, I mean, it's just an awesome process to watch, and the conference, and like I said, it's just so much that is overwhelming. But for such a time as this,
Such a time.
this is the time, because you know, I'm 60 years old, and it's now or never. It's now or never that I'm gonna push forward. And any woman that I could support to push forward into this process, I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter about money. You know, I help people publish books. I'll help you. It doesn't matter how much money you got. Because, see, that's where we get caught up at. Yeah, God's going to allow us to make the money. But come on now, if your sister can't tell her story, what good is it? It's in vain if that story don't get out.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amen.
You really hit on a lot. Never despise small beginnings. I remember when I did my first conference, well, we had a really good turnout. But I wasn't really worried about that. You got to take your, you know, even when we started the show, we started the show, we got to deal with technology. We got to do it. Chill out. Nothing is perfect. And if you let all of that take away from you getting something done, you'll never get anything done, because none of this is perfect. I don't care how the bright lights and the beautiful backdrops. There is always something going on in the background. But those things still move forward. The vision still move forward. And that's what God is saying to us, is saying, stop getting caught up in the earthly things and understand the spiritual impact, how you're freeing these people from bondage, how you're allowing them to have a peace of mind. And that's what really folks are looking for today, is a peace of mind, true authenticity in themselves and in their own skin, being able to be comfortable, and really being able to be set free. So the in-between is a critical place. It's a critical place. And just like you said, Cherie, if I do a workshop called Who's in Your Boardroom? You are the CEO of your life. Who's in your boardroom? And what do I mean by that? Who are you allowing to speak into your life, into your spirit? You got to be very, very careful with who you collaborate with, right? Because Christ had to tell Judas, listen, go and do what you got to do, and do it quickly. So you're always going to have a Judas in your circle. You just got to be in tuned enough to recognize which one is Judas, and to also let Judas know, I know, I recognize you in here, and it's all good, because you are here for a purpose, and it's because of your heart that you aligned with the wrong purpose. But go and do what you got to do, because Christ said that in faith, and what God called us to do is to do it in faith, where we cannot be worried about what other people think or do, because this is so much bigger than that one individual, so much bigger than your current circle. Christ had to leave his family right? In order for him to really go out and preach. And that's what we have to do. And Dr. Walton, you have done that. You have said, you know, in spite of,
Right up.
because this is so much bigger.
Right.
It's whosoever will, let them come. So guys, you want to register. You see it on the ticker tape. You see it come across. I've given it to you in the comments, so you want to pre-register for the conference, even if you can't make it all days. You want to tap in and you want to glean, and you may get stuck because sometimes you get on there and you just can't get off. You're just like, look, let me just sit here, because you need it. And if you are really believing God to level up, and you know, whether you believe in God and you go to church we're not talking about that believing God. We're talking about your relationship with the Father. Then you're saying, Lord, I really need you. You have been in your secret place believing God. These are the conferences, these are the moments that you want to get connected. You don't want to not show up for the conference. You want to make sure that you register for the conference. You want to be in the room where it happens. You want to be around like-minded individuals that are going to support your dreams, your hopes, your ambitions. God has put something in your heart to do it. And the only way that you're going to do it is having a collective body around you to support you. And we see this with Dr. First Lady Lassiter. We see this with Casey coming in and saying, listen, you got to, and thank God she's in the room, because we need our arm bearers, right? First Lady, Dr. Walton, we need arm bearers, because we need, this gets heavy.
Yes.
It gives us a vision. It is not for one, it's for all. It's for all to see it, and all to play their part, their role, and how this is going to happen, and make it so. And so
what happens is, you know, God in his infinite wisdom, he knows what he's put in you. And sometimes we become so comfortable doing what's most familiar that when it's time, and as Ecclesiastics say, there's to everything there's a season. So when it's time for your new season, and it's time for you to make the shift, and you know, our keynote speaker, Dr. Cheryl Woods, says, do it scared, do it anyway.
Yeah.
You don't have the blueprint, but he's given you every tool. He's already prepared you. All you have to do is come out of yourself, and as Lady K said, say yes. And so I'm hoping that your viewers will say yes today to attend this conference. And as you said, it's 3 days. The kickoff is on the 29th, the 30th, and May 1st. You will not regret attending this conference, even if you can't make the 3 days. We have a phenomenal roster of women. We have Gloria Chu, who is the PR guru and mentor. She was just named 2021 expert in pitch in the professional, in the Forbes 2022.
wow.
You know, we have a keynote again, Dr. Cheryl Woods. We have Dr. Crystal Lassiter. We have Cherie Allison, and we have Dr. Carolyn Stevens, who is the media, the Black House Media founder, where we now have our own network, the Black House Media Group. So we are on our way to being like the next flick, okay? In addition to the most powerful Jacqueline Lulu Brown, the revolutionist herself, okay? Just an awesome roster. If you have a story that you want to tell in literature, we have Darshell Alpine, who will teach you the steps of writing. And one thing about the conference that I wanted with the training, I want people to walk away with something tangible. And so there will be workbooks, so that application. See, this conference is about making impact. Yeah, I want you to have memories that, you know, yeah, it was a nice conference, but I want you to also say that it impacted my life. And so if I cannot present a conference that will be impactful in the lives of, from the least to those that, you know, have their own shows and their own conferences and their own programs, if I cannot be impactful, then I need to revisit the vision, because I know he gave it to me. He said, write it and make a point. Well, maybe I'll have to revisit if it's not impactful. But here's what I'm confident in, that it will be impactful. The networking. We have people that's joining us. Thank God for this this star StreamYard and Facebook Live, and because we are now connected globally, and you get the opportunity to be in conversation with a sister that you would have not otherwise ever have met, never have known. You know, we're on our way to London. It's just amazing. And the steps was simply say yes. So say yes today. And pre-register, because pre-registration actually ends on the 20th. And the only way that you will get the information to join the conference is if you pre-register. So again, thank you so much.
Yes. This is awesome. I want to just show the flyer so you can see the lineup. There's 2 flyers we're going to show really quick. So you see the lineup of phenomenal speakers. You see Dr. Cheryl Wood, keynote speaker. This is the Collaborative Women's International Conference, April 29th through May 1st, 2022. Women in Between, Purpose to Prosper. And that's exactly what we want to do. And prosperity doesn't just mean financially, it's in every area of your life. And here is a specific lineup, so you get to see them on Own It today. And we have First Lady Dr. Crystal Lassiter with us, and we have Dr. Cherie. I'm telling you, I'm giving it up. Dr. Cherie.
Give it up.
Casey is in the house. When I did the flyer, I said, wow, there's so many doctors in this group. So it's amazing. So Cherie, I'm prophesying.
I heard you.
And so
receive it.
There we go. So I'm really excited. Own It loves you guys. We know that you're going to have a lineup of interviews this coming week. It's going to be a hugely and insanely busy week, but that's what it's all about, getting the message out there, letting people know that these opportunities exist, that this network exists, and that they can partner with this network and find a home. Find some other partners. That when you network, it's all about what you can come together and then do together. And so these are the relationships, and I say relationships because relationships are long term. Relationships that we want to build up. And so it's an honor to be with you guys today. I'm so excited, and I'm looking forward to just being a part of the in-between and embracing. I had to learn how to embrace the in-between. Stop rushing, stop rushing through the process and missing the journey. People, start on Monday. They say, I can't wait for Friday. Well, you just missed out on the whole week. And if you just have a year full of Fridays, then you really miss out on you're missing out on your life. And so the in-between is a part of our life. And I believe it's a jewel part of our life that we really get so much treasure out of it if we stop trying to run from it and embrace it. And so,
Melissa, may I have one last thing to say, please? You're talking about Fridays, and this is personal. This Friday is one of the most important Fridays in my life because it is Good Friday. And it's today that they marched him up that hill. He said yes. He said yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm getting a little emotional here. Yeah. He said yes, so we could say yes to all the possibilities that he has created in us. He said yes, so that Casey could raise her grandson when he called her daughter home at age 18. He said yes. He says yes after divorce. Before divorce, after divorce, in between divorce. Yeah, I got that record. But he said yes. He said to tell Jeremiah, before you were born, before your mom and your daddy ever got together, I knew you and I gave you something unique, something that's different than any other person in the earthly realm. And it is specifically for you.
Yes. Yes.
And so I thank you again. And on this Friday, I love that 3. Because in 3 days, and that's the significance of the conference, 3 days. And so for those that are listening, yes, wondering if there's something that you can share, if there's something that you can contribute to the earth, there is. You say yes to him.
Yes.
And all of those things will begin to awaken. Get in the process.
Yes.
And again, as Dr. Sherwood said, do it scared.
Do it.
Do it. Look, do it with no money. I know you say, how do you do that? Faith.
Yeah, you do. You do. You do.
Faith is your currency. Faith is your earthly currency. Do it. Do it. I know what it is. I know what it's like not to understand how you will make it happen. But that's the problem. You don't have to make it happen. All you have to do is say yes and be obedient, because the plan is already written. And he will begin to reveal. And for every step in that process, just say yes. Thank you again. I honor you today, my sister. Thank you. God bless you. And to Dr. Lassiter, and to my friend, my good friend, Casey. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And so one of our viewers says it's now or never. You gotta move.
Never.
You gotta move. You gotta move inside the window. God gives us a window of opportunity.
Yes.
Move inside the window. This is our season. This is the season of leveling up. You know?
Absolutely.
And you gotta trust him. You gotta trust
him. Yeah.
And faith is blind. Faith is not knowing. That's what faith is. If we knew, then it's not faith.
Right.
You don't know, and you're still saying, Lord, yes. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but yes, and the defiance is saying, I really don't. You got to get to that place where you don't worry about what other people think. You got to just break through that and not care. It's got to be your urgency. It's got to be the yes to God. You know, I always say your why must make you high. You gotta.
I like that.
I say it has to be high because you gotta have the fix.
Yes.
Fix is the right fix. If it's the healthy fix, if it's the freeing and the loving and the caring of God, I say I do not want to leave this earth without fulfilling the call that God has on my life. Even if I have just 2 minutes of that left, I do not want to stand before Him having done nothing, having not done any. I'd rather do it a mess. And I say, I don't know. I tried something, you know. Then for him, and to have not done anything.
Absolutely. Yes.
No, this is it. Come on, we gotta brace the in between. Be okay with a messy hair day.
Yeah.
Don't care what people think. You gotta do it, and you gotta show up for the conference. The link is here. Pre-register, be in the house, be in the room where it happens, and you want to be in the room where it happens because you want to hear. You want to know what's going on. You want to know who to connect with. And so I'm really excited, ladies. Dr. Lassiter, I'm going to give you time to say a closing comment. Cherie, you can go right after that. Dr. Walton, we'll just give you one last close out. So Dr. Lassiter, First Lady, just share your closing thoughts.
Oh, wow. Well, I was sitting here and I was thinking about how for a long time I have been a loner. I have been one who was very calm, cool, collective. And that helped me to get to a certain place. But in this new season and place where I am, God says that that's not what's going to take you over to the next place. And so there's something really, really, really strategic about the cross. The cross is both horizontal, but it's also vertical. It's interpersonal and it's interdependent. It's independent, all right, and it's interdependence. And he told me that I had to begin to strengthen my interdependence. And I had to build a level and a group of sisterhood and women that would be an iron sharpening iron, that would be a place of accountability, that would be a place of vulnerability, it would be a place of authenticity, it would be a place that would help sharpen you so that you would continue to lean on my principles, which which is important, because you know the purpose, you know the potential, but you have to honor the principles. And it's in there, in that type of accountability, of where it's important. So I believe for any and everyone that is going to be joining in on this moment in time of In Between Conference, that you're going to get a word. And this particular word is going to shatter all space and all time. And it's where it needs to in your life to catapult you to the next place in the process.
Wow. Wow. What a
yes.
That was a lot. I love it because it is a word.
It is a word.
It is a word. All you need is a word. You gotta. Jacob did not wrestle God just to wrestle God. Jacob was in a place of saying, I have to hear from you. I'm in a place of I want to, and I'm willing to risk my physical, whatever it takes. Esther going before the king, you know, he could have severed her head. But there's a time in which we say there must be so much conviction with us to say, I have to do this. And it's not about me. It's about everything you called me to become. And so, Dr. Casey,
you just stirring it up, aren't you?
It's in my spirit. So
it shall be. It shall
be. Wow. You know, so many women are disenfranchised, disillusioned. You know, I call it the D words. And
despondent.
This is a prelude to your deliverance. It's a prelude for your deliverance. If you want to be truly delivered, or if you know someone who is in between, please register for this conference. I guarantee you, by his stripes, okay, you shall be healed.
Thank you.
You shall be healed. You shall come into a place where God shows you who you are and leads you to your purpose. So don't hesitate. Sign up today for this conference, and you will truly be blessed, and you will not regret it.
Yes.
I don't know about you ladies, but I feel the heaviness of that anointing. Okay? Eating and it's not too hard here. Here in the Dominican Republic, I'm already feeling woozy. So it's like the weightiness I feel, that there's just such a breakthrough in this conference that those who are assigned have to show up. And so just know I'll be praying because God is moving. There's a movement within inside of this conference. There's a movement inside of the body linked with this conference. And so I'm just excited. I'm excited. So Dr. Walton, you're going to close us out.
Yes. You know, words, action words is what I'm seeking. And one thing about this conference, you know, over the course of my life, I've attended many, and I'm sure that the viewers, there's a population of people that's what they do. They attend conferences, you know. Right. I can't express enough about the impact that this conference will have on your life. And I want to speak. I work. I said that I've been called to those, to the have-nots, to those that's been incarcerated and closed out of doors, that have been rejected and abused, that's been told that you're less than, and you began to wear that. You know that we come to set you free of that imposter syndrome, or action words, to get up out of your place and go. Look, the comfort of your own home. How you can't get any better. The other thing about it in terms of action is that you won't have to go into your wallet for anything, because it is free. The most that you will have to do is position yourself in your home to receive what has been divinely prepared for you. So come and eat and partake. This can be your first self-discovery. We talked yesterday about emotional intelligence. Well, we have to discover who we are. You may have the desire to share your story, and I'm sure it's an amazing story, but now you have to get in the process so that you can evolve and open up and share, so that, because someone's waiting for your story.
Yeah.
Because whatever you've been through, it is not for you. So show up. There was that old saying, you have to be in it to win it. Well, you have to be in this. That's action. Take some action today. So I'm calling you out. Your name is already written, because this conference was predestined to happen. So your name is already written. You were pre-registered. Okay. And so now let's manifest that in the earthly realm.
Yes.
I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to hear your comments. I can't wait to hear your story. Let me be your destiny helper. Thank you.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Good Friday, and what a good way to start the morning off. My God. I feel so good right now. It's not funny. And I just want to share that with the world. So, ladies, we just want to say it is the Collaborative Women's International Conference. Dr. Gloria Walton is the visionary and the host. Women in Between, Purpose to Prosper. Really excited. So make sure in the comments there is a link for you to pre-register. You said that's on the 20th. So you want to make sure you pre-register. And you want to be in the room where it happens. You want to make sure that you show up for yourself, and then share the link with others. If you're not able to attend, whatever, get it out there. Share the video, share this interview, get it out there. Let everyone know about it, because we're getting ready to come out of this pandemic. Completely come out of this pandemic. It's just a matter, the enemy weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning.
Joy comes in the morning, yes.
The morning hour. And when you come out, you want to be able to come out with the vision, the purpose, and everything that God has ordained for you to have in this season. And one of those things is by showing up for yourself. And so without further ado, we just want to say thank you all. Have a blessed weekend, holy weekend. And just so thankful to be here. Take center stage and own it, and embrace the in between.
Yes.